let's talk about the books that I finished in the last month and why I almost did not film this video. Listen, it's been rough for some reason. I keep not finding amazing books. Some of them are still good, but a lot have been really disappointing, including books that are not even released yet. And they were some of my most anticipated releases of 2025. So we're going to talk about it because it happens. And just because I didn't give a book, 4 or 5 stars doesn't mean you're going to feel the same. And it's fine. I'm going to try to explain it, but it's been a little rough. Let's just go with that. I'm just going to go in order to not forget anything. So the first one I finished was They Never Learn, which I like a good unhinged female character, kind of female rage, revenge story. And this is definitely it. You have 2 point of views. At first, I wasn't really sold on the student going to university, but towards the middle, it picks up. And you follow this woman who every year, she's a professor at university, she chooses one man. Well, every year, once in a while, it's not really strict, that deserves it. And she just, chooses him and ends him. And it was good. I enjoyed myself. The writing was okay, but overall entertaining story. I feel like more great female characters, there aren't enough of those, enough good ones. So yes, this was good. I'm going to give it a 4-star. Solid read, would recommend. The next book I finished was a disappointment. The School for Good and Evil. I actually was vlogging this. This was part of my Read It or Unhaul It challenge where I pick random books from my shelf that are unread. Some of them have been there for years. And I try them and I have to either, finish them or get rid of them. And this one I finished it. I read a little in diagonal towards the end, but I'm getting rid of it. Okay, that's why it's in pieces right now. It was on my unhaul shelf, but we still need to talk about it. I was so confused as to why this is so popular. It is middle grade fantasy. These 2 girls that are from the same little town, and they end up reluctantly, at least for one of them, going to this magical school. It's like 2 of them next to each other, and the one that is oh so pretty, really wanted to go, ends up having to go to the school for evil. She doesn't think it's her place, and the other one who's oh so ugly ends up going to the school for good. And again, why would she be there? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, I thought this was going to be good. And I continued reading this because I kept waiting for the moment where we would get, the moral of the story. And it's like, oh, blah, 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 beauty. No, it never happened. It literally never happened. I was so confused until I Googled the author and I found out it was a male author. Do not come for me. Do not come for me. Some of the descriptions were freaking creepy, okay? You should not. I think midway through the book, the author forgot that they were supposed to be 11. Right? If you've read it, you know. And yeah, it's just weird. And there's no message. Again, I insist on that. And I get that it's the first book in a series. I don't care. I really don't care. I hate that excuse. But you don't get anything about ending the story until the last 3 pages. It's ridiculous. And I just felt so frustrated. I kept going because I could not believe that this would be this popular. I enjoy reading for fun, but I don't forget that I have a brain at the same time, because realizing I went a little too far, so I can add spoilers in the comment section, but I'm going to remove that part. I'm not going to say more because spoiler, I'll discuss it in the vlog if you want to have the spoilers, but why are you calling her oh so ugly and the other, anyway, I'm done. I did not enjoy this. I give it 2-star because I love magical schools, and that's all we're going to say. So, ew. I really don't get, sometimes some books you're oh, I'm just not the target audience. It's fine. No. Then I read 2 new releases, 2 new adult romance releases, which I was very excited about to try them, even though they're not usually my main genre, but I've read other books by these authors and I like them. So in this case, one of them I loved, one of them I was really disappointed with. Can you guess? You're gonna be wrong. So yes, Say You'll Remember Me was actually good. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it 4-star. This is the second time that this author writes a male character that I like. And I don't say that lightly because I find them often insufferable. I feel like authors, there has to be some type of conflict, right? And when they introduce that conflict, they make them so awful that she forgives him. I don't. That man, no. But in this case, I was okay with it. This woman finds this little stray kitty and goes to the vet. Turns out the kitty has no butthole and, needs surgery. The vet is rude to her, even though inside he's kind of feeling her. I think people call it Sunshine and Grumpy Sunshine. Anyway, it worked. It worked. I like them. So I'm going to give it a 4-star. Would recommend a good audiobook. On the other hand, that means I did not care for Great Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. The first 2 books I've ever read by her were 5 stars, so I feel like I've been searching for that high ever since, and I've read, this is my 4th book since then, and they were not as good as the first 2. Here's the thing, I feel like in this one you have these 2 main characters, again, they're competing for the same job, so like enemies, I guess, and the book was a lot more about what they were competing for than I wanted or expected. That portion of the book was not bad though. They are trying to interview this woman who, you know, she used to be rich and famous and she's been hiding away, but she wants to, you know, share her life story for whatever reason. And they are, again, fighting for that job. And for a month, they are doing these interviews with her and, you know, she will choose the best one to be the person to write it. And they, obviously, you know, it's a romance. The problem is, they had no freaking chemistry, and I will fight you on that. Listen, I was waiting, okay? They have sexual chemistry, I guess, but like, there was just some spice and like nothing. I felt nothing for anyone in here. So yeah, again, I didn't really care about the other story, and it was better than the romance. So I don't know, the ending was good. I'll give it that, but yeah, I'm giving it 2-star. Yeah. It is probably, I think part of it is just out of frustration because I was so disappointed, but yeah, I'm curious what people are going to think because I think it just finally got released. So try it. Let me know how you feel about both of them. I want to know which romance book between the 2 you're going to like because Emily Henry, I thought you were my person, and I think it was just 2 books and that's it. I didn't try the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. I didn't expect to love it because when something is so popular for so long, it's almost always overhyped. Like, even if you want to read it and love it, it's just not going to be as great as you're imagining. But I ended up enjoying them, okay? British humor can be hit and miss, but I like them. I tried 2 books, the first one in both series. They're all connected. Again, that diagram every time freaks me out. It's just too many things. But you have Mort, which you're following the character who becomes Death, which, cool, well, the apprentice to Death. And then you have Equal Rights, which is the first book in the Witches series, which I will be continuing this one because I did enjoy it. I'm a big fan of witches, and I do have the second one. However, I will attempt to only read these as audiobooks because the audiobook is so much better. Like, obviously, I think some of you mentioned that some of the writing, if you actually read it, some of them are like play of words that you might not catch in the audiobook form, but the audiobook was just so good. So yeah, this one was a 3, this one was a 4, and like I said, I will be continuing this one. I enjoyed it. They're really fun, and again, I wish my library had them as audiobooks. They don't, so I'll have to figure it out. I think some of you mentioned that Spotify Premium has them. Maybe, we'll see. So yes, I did enjoy these. I understand the hype, but I think I'm just gonna go through them, you know, slowly but surely. So there's no rush. There's what, like 50 of them? Okay, the biggest disappointment of the month, okay? Of the year, maybe. The new Victoria Schwab. I have the advanced reader copy. I don't know how much you're allowed to tell that much in advance, but it's coming out somewhat soon. So I was dying to read this book. That's why I read it, again, a little early than I had planned originally because I couldn't find anything that I loved and I was desperate to read a 5-star book. And I thought, surely this is going to be it. It's a book about vampires. You're following 3 women, 3 different timeline in history, and it's sapphic romances. It took me probably the first half to get into the story because, again, not every point of view was as good and it got slow, and I found myself really frustrated by the timeline that was like current. Well, I think it's like 2019, whatever. The modern one, it kind of was boring. I liked the other one better. I, again, enjoyed the romances, I enjoyed the vampire bits, but the ending was good, but it doesn't compensate for how long it took me to get into the book and really care. And the writing is beautiful. Again, Victoria Schwab, I was really excited, but I was kind of bored. It feels like a crime to say that out loud, but like, I very recently finished this one, so I'm still, you know, thinking about it. I will let you know more thoughts when I'm ready, but I will be impatiently waiting for everyone else's opinion. So I thought this was going to be an easy 5-star. and it's not. As you can imagine, after that, I literally started 50 books, read like for an hour, put them down, pick something else. I just didn't know what to actually read because nothing sounded appealing. I can't even tell you how many I got from library and returned them like pretty much instantly because again, nothing was appealing. So I went used book shopping. I found this book and I read it instantly, and it was in my last book haul and I've been dying to actually review it. So in this one, you follow a character who is Mormon. You know, did the right thing his whole life, and then he dies, ends up in front of a demon that tells him, actually, your God is not the real God, so you're going to hell. And his personal hell is this giant library where he has to go through the books to try and find the one in like, how many he doesn't know, books that contains his life story. So he's just doing that until, you know, so he's stuck in that library until he finds said book, and you're following him in this story. It's very short. It's like 100 pages, but I'm a sucker for a really interesting, unique premise, and that was definitely it. Again, as always, if you have any recommendation, I think I would consider this speculative fiction, and that's exactly what happened to me when I found I Who Have Never Known Men. Again, I knew nothing about the book. It was really appealing, and I think I'm not going to tell you anything else because, again, it's 100 pages. You can easily read this in a day. I'm a sucker, again, for these really unique premises. So this was good. I'm going to give it 4-star. Yeah. Again, I can't say more. I mean, I can in the comment section, but I would recommend it. It was fun. I mean, as much as hell can be fun. So the ones I'm currently reading, because, you know, again, I started a million of them, and I'm not going to tell you all about them because, like, why? What's the point? Like, I have nothing to say. Actually, I did start this one as a nonfiction because for some reason, when I get really in a slump, I go back to nonfiction. So this is When God Was a Woman, which I think is a really interesting topic. I am at chapter 3. But the introduction was thick, okay? It doesn't even count. It's like 30 pages, but that intro was like 25 pages, okay? So I read a good chunk, but I'm currently really enjoying this one. This is Martha. It's literary fiction. It's very character-driven. Nothing really has happened, but you follow a character who is depressed. He has suffered with addiction. He has lost his parents, and you get little, you know, slice of life of him, but also, again, his parents, uncle, and there seemed to be some generational trauma happening. He's trying to figure out what to do with his life, if he wants to end it. And he also wants to write a book about martyrs, and he's the more I try to say that word, the less I can, okay? It's the same word in French, martyr. Anyway, you can read it yourself. He's trying to write a book on that topic because he doesn't know what to do with his life. And it sounds like a really unappealing description of this book, but I love it, okay? There's just something about the writing that just appeals to me. And I am currently at chapter 19, page 206, and I'm really enjoying it. So I understand why this was on a lot of lists of like best book of, 2024 when it came out last year. And I feel like I tend to see these lists and I'm like, oh, it's always too literary fiction. I never really like them. Like, it feels sometimes, my opinion, that people feel forced to like these books because like the experts are saying, oh, it's good. And you read it and you're like, is it? Because I don't get it. But this one I get it. So it makes me feel smart when I like literary fiction, I feel like one of those girlies. So audiobook wise, I did start Attached, which is about attachment styles. I feel like this has become so popular. Everyone is overusing it probably, but you have, anxious attachment style, secure, or avoidant. And it's been interesting. I feel like some of the examples feel a bit to me, but like there's one specific one that is stuck in my head where it's like, oh, you like you're a woman dating a man and you catch him staring at other women and like, how do you react to it? And the secure was supposed to like not care. Please, if I caught the person I'm with staring at other people lustfully, I would be pissed. Like there's nothing secure about being okay with. There were a few examples like that I don't agree with, but I still think it's an interesting topic. It doesn't even have to only be about romantic relationships. I feel like it's important to learn how you are and, see what's healthy, what isn't. But yeah, I'm not sure about the book, but I'm only, 34% into it, but it's 7 hours. So far so good, I guess. I did one of the 10 books that I started and didn't finish, but I don't know, I still have it, so we'll see, was Lights Out, which you guys were right, because I added that to my waiting list because I thought I had seen it on a list of like funny book, and a lot of you told me, Emily, it can't be the book you're thinking about, and I think you're right, because This is a spicy book. I don't really read spicy books, nothing against them, but I am 6% into it and I put it down for now because basically this woman, she's a nurse and, you know, she works a lot. She doesn't have the time to have really a relationship. And she likes to watch on TikTok videos of men wearing masks. And then the other point of view is a man that she really likes that wears masks, and he finds out that anyway. Literally in the intro, it gives you a list of like trigger warnings, and I laugh because the list was so long. And that's when I was like, oh, I think you guys were right. This is really not the book I thought it was, because I'd heard this was funny and it makes me laugh, but not in that way. So again, we'll see. Maybe I'll finish it. Maybe I won't. But I did start another book that was on the same list as this one with the best books of 2024. So again, I'm hoping that I can find a 5-star here, and it is I Cheerfully Refuse, which I think is like apocalyptic, but like literary fiction apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic book. We'll see. So far, I'm only 7% into it, so not much has happened, but the title is actually the title of a book that this woman was looking for, and I don't know, we'll see. I haven't really formed an opinion yet. So yeah, I feel like this month was a mess, okay? I was a mess the whole month. I was really, really sick. That's why I haven't been posting, and yeah, my reading has been a mess. I feel like so many disappointments with V.E. Schwab and this. Magical School book not being good is weird, but I feel like at this point we're pretty good. Again, I really did enjoy the premise of this one. So far I'm really enjoying the writing of this one, and I have the other audiobook that hopefully will save me and one that might traumatize me. We'll see. Hopefully May is going to be better. I just posted, like I said, a book haul, and I got a couple books that I'm hoping will save my butt, but I don't know. I feel like this year has been really rough in general, but reading wise, because the only 2 books I gave 5-star to were the first books I have read this year. The same freaking thing happened to me last year. Like I think it's unfair. Okay, I want to complain. Whoever's in charge of my reading year can't be me, because I'm not doing a good job. Someone else has to be doing this job. But yeah, hopefully I save myself from myself very soon, and I will be enjoying myself more for the rest of the year. Honestly, I think what really like just ended me was the V. Schwab book. I mean, Emily Henry too. Like 2 books that are new releases that I was so excited to read, and they both ended up being... And I still don't even really know how to describe my feelings about the V. Schwab one, because like her writing is beautiful. I really wanted to like be invested, but I just up and down the whole... I don't know. That one was really rough. It was rough, okay? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. I am curious to hear your thoughts on these ones. If you have suggestions, again, anything similar to this, please let me know. I haven't heard anyone mention this, and I didn't even watch any reviews, like read any reviews before picking it up. I was just like, you know what? That premise, I need this in my life, and I did. I will be putting more videos on the screen, including that book haul. If you want to tell me which books I should read, definitely check it out. And I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye. Hopefully May is going to be better. Because this was rough.